Hi guys, this is Lady Morton Experience. Coming to back to you with another good read. This time I changed it up with a good self help book. Um, in my life right now, I feel like I need a little bit of a pick me up, something that's gonna help me get back, get things together in line. I got this book I was looking at Walmart. Um, it's called Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I've heard some of her stuff. I've heard some of her podcasts and um through like social media and stuff like that. And I was intrigued by ever since I've seen like a couple of um her podcast videos. I came in intrigued about what it is that she says about just life in general. And I started um, this book out with not really necessarily any kind of hopes of just finding a book that I thought would help kind of push me a little bit further than what I want to do. You know, sometimes our mind can get us stagnated, and our thoughts can get us stuck inside of one place or another for too long. And that's what I felt like. Sometimes my thoughts can overwhelm me and kind of talk me out of certain situations and doing certain things. And that even comes to posting videos of just simply about books. And, sometimes I can have had that underwhelming feeling of not being enough or not seeing if it's just the whole social media thing. But I love books, and I love to talk about books, and I love to share my experiences with you. So this book, it talks about on the back of the book. I'm gonna start with that. Well, actually, on the front of the book, it says number one New York Times bestseller, a life-changing tool that millions of people can't stop talking about. The Let Them Theory, Mel Robbins and Sawyer Robbins. On the back, it says two simple words will change how you think about your entire life. If you're struggling to achieve your goals or feel a little happier, the problem isn't you. The problem is the power you give to other people. And I believe that is true. Sometimes, not necessarily physically, but emotionally, you can put um, your own where you are in life compared to somebody else's, or giving power to people and belittling yourself, which I have a lot of trouble with that. Um, and just belittling the things that you can do, or the things that your capabilities are not as big as others, or just the simple things that we sometimes have in the back of our minds, and we internalize that, and it allows it gives people the power over us, not even knowing it. It don't even have to be the person that's physically in front of you, but just giving that power to that thought, and that's what I'm getting from that. In this book, you'll learn how two words, let them, can set you free. Free from the opinions, drama, and judgment of others. Free from the exhausting cycle of trying to manage everything and everyone around you. There is a better way to live. The Let Them theory is proven method that teaches you how to protect your time and energy. Focus on what matters to you. You've spent too long chasing approval, managing others' people happiness, and that is so true. I must say that is so true. I just got out of a 14-year marriage, and I can say that I spent a lot of time putting my all into um, my marriage, into my family at the time, and I ended up losing myself. Like, I didn't even know who I was. Like, I couldn't. If somebody had showed me a picture of myself back then, I probably wouldn't be able to tell that it was me, because you lose yourself. Sometimes they don't tell you that part about being married, is sometimes you don't necessarily remember who you are, or you're so lost in the other person, or you get so caught up in trying to help them carry their dreams, or trying to just trying to you end up losing yourself inside of your marriage. Is what I'm trying to say. But I think this book is an excellent. It's going to be an excellent book. So far, I can say that like I can read you a couple of inserts that I thought was very thought provoking. She says she talked about a 5 second rule, and it's simple. The moment you have an instinct to act, you have to physically move within 5 seconds, or your brain will talk you out of it. And just start counting backwards: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Take action before hesitation kicks in. And here's why it works. Counting backward requires focus and snaps you out of the autopilot, giving you just enough of a push to get going. It helps you power through fear, doubt, and procrastination. Every time you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like tipping the first domino. Momentum kicks in, boom, and you're no longer thinking about what you need to do. You're already doing it. And the best part, once you start moving, it's way easier to keep going. Now that I can testify to. In my life, after my divorce, I was working out, but I was working out, but I took it more personally, and I began to not be so stagnated and be so I just took fitness a lot more serious. And I find out that some days it's not even about motivation; it's more so about my seriousness and making sure that I get up for myself, that I'm showing up at the gym for myself, being happy with who I am, and sometimes it's even sometimes I can pull up to the gym, and I don't even want to get out of the car, and I literally have to count for myself. I don't count. I just heard that just now, but I do a method of, all right, get your butt out of the car. You're not gonna change nothing by sitting in this car, and no weight ain't gonna be lost by you sitting in this car, taking days off or any day off or anything like that. So I push myself and not allowing myself to have um, any excuses. And I think this is an excellent book for that. Another insert that she talks about is the 5 second rule. Taught me that action is the answer. Thinking about your problems would never solve them. Waiting around to feel like doing something means you'll never do it. It taught me that no one is coming to save you. You must save yourself from yourself. You have to force yourself to make little moves for it all day, every day, especially when you don't feel like it. And that is the truth. Um, this is just the first like fourth page um that I was reading, and I found out like in reading this book that she's making milestones. She's in this book when she's speaking about her life. She was 41 when all of this started, and I'm 44, and reading this something like this helps you realize that you're not at your you're not what's the word I'm looking for, you're not too old to keep going and to make dreams come true. Sorry if I keep saying but uh here I go again. But I think that in life we can make choices where we can stay there stagnant and not move, or we can find solutions to help us move better and quicker and at a faster pace than what we're used to. And I think that's important, because if we don't, we'll stay in a place. We want to stay. You want to stay there, and that's not what you want. You not necessarily want to stay stagnant for years and years and years. Um, and I think it's important. It's important. So I think I'm excited about starting this book and finishing it. Um, I also have another book that I'm reading, and I actually had to get out of a reading slump because I usually mostly stick to historical fiction, and history, Black history. But I decided just to get into a little romance. And this is called Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell. That's a good book. So far, She is very don't want to give it away, but I would say that she's very hardworking, and it shows in the book that she's just like any other female. Well, when you get with a person and you think that um they're gonna be the best for you, and things are gonna work out, and then when you get with the person and you've spent many years with them, and then instantly you change, or you start working on yourself more, or you become dedicated about something, and that person um, changes, or they change and try to put off their insecurities on you. And that's what she goes through in this book. And I feel like she has some eye opening. Her heart gets broken, and it changes her perspective on herself. It kind of was a good thing, but it was a bad thing. It was a good thing, not a bad thing. It was a bad thing because she got hurt, but it was a great thing for her because she got to see herself in a new light and find out who she was before she got lost inside of her career and got lost inside of her boyfriend. And like I said in the video, like I said before when I first started out, I just got out of a 14-year marriage, being divorced for a year, no, almost 2 years. Um, and I think a lot of times that's the thing. We don't get warned as women about throwing ourselves inside of a marriage and giving your all to a person, um, and being able to contain yourself in um, being able to uh, know who you are and keep who you are inside of that relationship, and that's so important. That's the pieces that's not being told to women about these relationships. So I hope you go and pick up these books. It's definitely a good read, and I look forward to, and as I'm reading this book, I hope to be more consistent with my book post, and maybe I'll come out and have a video about um, my divorce and things like that, and life after. Um, and leave a comment below if you like the video. Share the video, and thanks for watching.